بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. ربنا زدنا علما. اللهم إني أسألك الإخلاص والقبول وأن تنفعنا اللهم بما نقول. اللهم أمين. وبعد. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Tajweed 101 course, simple step-by-step Tajweed course that enables you inshallah to read the Quran properly inshallah. My name is Maghfirah and you are watching Maghfirah 101, the place to learn and know and understand how to read the Quran properly and understand its meaning. And today inshallah we are going to continue with the mistakes that may happen when we read letter Lam. So let's see what are these mistakes. Mistakes that may happen when we read letter Lam. Letter Lam, as you remember, is produced from the end or front edge of the tongue when it lies with what lies opposite to it from the upper gum, as you remember. And so the sound of Lam is L. So the sound is hitting the internal part that is touching the tongue, or that's intersect between the tongue and the top of the gum. Okay, so this is L, La, L. This is Lam. So the mistakes that may happen for letter Lam is, number one, reading it with qalqala. Doing qalqala when reading this letter. What is qalqala? It is to open the articulation point after closing it. And you know that lam sound, because of the touching, because the tongue is touching the roof of the gum or the roof of the mouth, some may think that the sound should be open again. But the reality is the sound should be deviates from the both sides of the tongue to be produced or to be pronounced completely. So it is L. The sound is continuous, and the sound of Lam is continuous while the sound deviates from both sides of the tongue. Okay, so there's no need to reopen the articulation point again as Al. Al. There is no need to do that. Al. It is L. L. Like in the word Alhamdulillah. Alhamdu. Like this. Some may do this as Alhamdu. Al. Okay, it is not Al. The sound should be continuous. Al. Like this. So this is the first mistake, number one mistake, which is Al. Should be continuous. The sound should be continuous and not cut like this way. Number two, from the most commonly happened mistakes, that improper timing. Improper timing may happen because of being rushed on reading Lam letter, or even increasing its time needed. Okay, and this is because of even getting ready for the next letter, so that will lead you to pause on Lam for a longer time, or being afraid from losing the next letter, so being rushed on reading Lam. Like, for example, Alhamdu. On increasing its time, it will be Alhamdu. Being ready, getting the tongue ready for the next letter when you are reading Lam will lead this mistake to happen. Alhamdu, like this. Or even decreasing its time, like Alhamdu, Alhamdu. You see, the time for Lam shorten, okay, and it is not taken its needed time. How to solve this problem? By keeping the sound in a moderate time, the same as the beginning, the same as the end. Like the beginning letter and the end letter. Should take the time of give the Lam the same timing for So Alhamdu, like this. Number three, make it heavy instead of being light. You know that we talked about this issue on the last video about the heavy Lam of the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we mentioned that otherwise the Lam should be light. Sometimes when we have heavy letter following the Lam letter, some may do it as a heavy Lam, like Al-Latif, Allah, You see? Al-Latif. Allah. It is not Allah. We think that, or some may think that, because of the name of Allah is pronounced as Allah, so all of the lambs should be like this. But this is wrong. Lamb, normal lamb, is not heavy, and the name of Allah should be heavy in special cases, as mentioned in the previous video. Okay, so how to solve this problem? By lowering the tongue to be sitting down on the lower jaw to prevent this elevation. So instead of reading it as Al-Latif, we should do it as Allah, Allah, Al-Latif, Allah. Okay, next mistake is read it light instead of heavy. This is reverse to the previous mistake, which is reading it as a heavy, because lam in normal is heavy, is light. Lam in normal is light, okay? But the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be two cases, okay? If the letter just before the name of Allah is fatha or dhamma, okay? So in this case, it will be heavy. Like, qala, la, you see here, la, fatha, then the name of Allah. So the name of Allah in this case will be heavy. So it will be qala Allah. Qala Allah. And the concept of being or having a heavy or light letter is to do two things, as we mentioned the last video. Number one, elevating the posterior part of the tongue. Number two, keep the sound inside the mouth. Narrow the space between the tongue and the throat will lead the letter to be heavy. La, like this. Or even if you have dhamma, qalu, lu, dhamma, then the name of Allah, qalu Allahumma, qalu Allahumma, qalu Allahumma, heavy. If we have kasra, okay, in this case we have to make it light, like Bismillahi. We have Bismi, kasra, just before the name of Allah. Bismi, then I will read the name of Allah, so it will be Bismillahi, Bismillahi. If I do it wrong by elevating the tongue, someone may do it like this. Bismillahi, Bismillahi, not Bismillah. It is Bismillah. La, light. Okay, so make the tongue in its normal position. Do not elevate the posterior part of the tongue to make the sound of the name of Allah. Okay, so read it light instead of being heavy. Okay, like Min Allah. If someone do it instead of reading it as Min Allah, Mina, na Allah, someone may do it as Min Allah, la, like this. So focus on the letter that just before the name of Allah. If the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is having fatha or dhamma, in this case we will read it heavy. If the name of Allah having just before it kasra, read it light. The next mistake is fuse its sound with the next letter. We have two things in this part. If we have lam shamsiyya or lam qamariyya, or if we have lam sukun. Okay, if we have lam qamariyya, you know that we have two types of lam shamsiyya and lam qamariyya, sun lam and moon lam. It is called so according to its appearance or disappearance. Sun lam, the Arab used this expression to say that this lam isn't readed. We won't read this lam when we have sun lam. And moon lam, in this case, we will read this lam. Okay? How to know that if you have this lam as a sun lam or as a moon lam, according to the top of this lam. Okay? Alif lam. If I have alif lam like this, on top of this lam, there is a sukoon. In this case, you know that this lam, I will read it. Okay? If I have alif lam, but nothing on top of lam, so you know that you will skip this lam. The previous concept that I just give you, it is just to let you know if you need to read the lamb or not, but not this is the main concept of lamb, sun lamb and moon lamb, and inshallah we will move to it deeply on its time, inshallah. Okay, but for now, once you see lamb contains sukun on top of it, so you have to read it and give it its needed sound. If you not see anything on top of this lamb, so you will skip reading it one and move to the next letter straight away. Okay, and then let's look to this example. Here it is al-jibal. Here we have to read the lam because it contains a sukun on top of it. Okay, so some may do it as al-jibal, skip lam, skip reading lam. Okay, and this is commonly happened between the sun lam and the moon lam. Okay, and to make this or to solve this problem very easy and very quickly, look at the lam. If you find a sukun on top of this lam, you have to read it. If nothing on this lam, skip it. Okay, so this is the concept. The next thing, if you have lam sukun, okay, sometimes some may do it as this word anzalnahu. Some may do it as anzalnahu. The sound of lam disappeared. Anzalnahu. Not anzalnahu. Not anzalnahu. No, it is anzal. Anzal. There is lam, then move to the nahu. Anzalnahu. Next example is وَلَا تُحَمِّلْنَا. There is a lam sukun, then nun alif. Okay, some may skip this lam as well, so they read it as وَلَا تُحَمِّلْنَا. It is not minna, it is milna. Lam, then nun. The last mistake that may happen is so commonly happen is reading it with a nasal sound, especially when we have the name of Allah or even some letters. Lam when it's following mim, lam when it's preceded by noon. These nasal letters, when then lam coming after or before it or even in between them, lam sometimes produced with a nasal sound. So billah, and the concept of nasal sound, we covered it maybe the previous video or the video before it, when we agreed that to close the nose. Okay, close the nose until you find the sound completely going out from the mouth. If you find there is a blockage on your nose, the sound is blocked inside your nose, you know that you allow some nose to be produced from nose. So you have to let the sound to be from your mouth, not from your nose. Okay, so it will be billah instead of billah, billah. Instead of allowing the sound to go through nose, let the sound completely go from mouth. جزاكم الله خيرا for your watching. Let's stop here. Inshallah the next lesson will continue. سبحانك اللهم ربنا وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.